Leah, let's start with you first on preparations for Christmas honors. Give us the date of when all this is happening and then how things are progressing with this so far.
Well, we are well underway because we're 2 weeks out from the event. Our wreath workshop is December 2nd, and it'll be down at the Fort Smith Convention Center. We'll start about 9 o'clock and we'll go until all 17,000 wreaths are fluffed and prepared and laid out at the cemetery ready for the next day. And then Saturday, December 3rd is the wreath laying event. And we have family time between 8 and 11. So we ask that the public kind of give the families time to go out and pick up a wreath and lay the wreath on their headstones and give them that kind of special time, respect that. And then there's a ceremony at the pavilion at 11. And then following that, about 11:30 is when the public completes the rest of the laying of the wreath in the cemetery.
And that doesn't take but about 2.5 to 3 minutes to finish up.
Correct. All 17. It's amazing to watch. In less than 5 minutes, you just see this wave of red and green wreaths take over the cemetery. It's beautiful.
All right, a brand new aspect of this year. We're getting students involved. Kristen, tell us about how you got involved with this and what have you guys done on the middle school level?
So Leah is a dear family of First Lutheran School. Both of her kids have since graduated our program, and she reached out to me a couple months ago and was kind of trying to figure out how to get us involved and how to bring another aspect of kind of spotlighting specific veterans that were there and how we could do that. And so we started looking at ways we could get involved with that and decided that we would have the students each kind of look up and study somebody who's been laid to rest there. And so we had students, we had half of our middle school actually looked up family members, either grandparents, great grandparents, uncles, a family friend. We had a handful of students look up actually former First Lutheran staff members that are there. So we got to a former principal and a few other staff members that are there. And then the rest of the students did either kind of local heroes, like specific names like Darby and things like that, or just other people that were laid to rest there that are still just as important. And so we kind of got to see a really healthy mix of different ones. And it was a wonderful way for the students to get to honor their own families by studying stuff. And they all talked about how I didn't know this about my grandfather or my uncle or, and so they got to do that and study those individual people that are there. And I think sometimes when we see the cemetery, it seems very overwhelming to look at how many are there. And so for us to really narrow it down and let our students spend time on just one person, it really gave them that great aspect. I mean, they got to study countries they didn't really know where they were located but they had served there. And so they got to do really in-depth projects on each of these people.
And it developed into putting posters together. Is that right?
So it turned into, hey, let's turn this into a poster and let's present them somewhere during the Christmas Honors program. And so each of our students designed posters with pictures of the person they studied, maps of where they served, family pictures. The ones that studied the family members brought in actual pictures of the family members. Some of them had letters that they had written while they were away and that they were able to put on the posters. And so really got to individualize them.
Leah, how important was it for you on the committee and the committee for Christmas Honors to get kids involved with this event?
It's been something that's been near and dear to our hearts since the beginning. And at the initial start, we did have kids of all ages involved at the workshop. It got to be where it was a little bit dangerous for some of the younger kids at the workshop. You've got boxes and trucks in and out and poles. And so we have eventually kind of moved that to being a high school participant kind of event. And so we wanted to figure out a way to involve the younger kids and especially give them kind of a basis for why this event is important. So hopefully by the time they get to high school, they have a better appreciation for the event that they can actually go physically work at the workshop. And then everybody is welcome on Saturday of all ages. There's no signups required. Bring your family members, kids of all ages, and come help us play the wreath.
Kristen, you mentioned this is that where the kids got to do the research. How big of a teaching tool is this?
Our middle school teachers, when we first kind of started toying with this idea, didn't really fully grasp the depth that it would be. for these students to understand and really study these people. And so for the students to get a mix of history, geography, just their own own ancestry, and just get to the teachers being able to use that. They were able to look at timelines, and because we had people that served, that we had one whose family member just passed away last year. And then we had some that had, were from the early 1900s. So to get to look at the timeline of that, and talking about the different wars and how they served in the different wars based upon the timeline. So that our teachers, our middle school teachers, were able to take that and really stretch it beyond what the initial kind of idea was. And so that was great for the students to get to learn the different facets within that one project.
It's in the middle school level now. Does this expand?
So we hope to see it expand. Leah and I've talked about ways that we can see, one, just keeping it with the middle school, doing these full-fledged history projects, but then how do we bring the younger kids into this? Our students always do the flags at Memorial Day down at the cemetery. Our first graders do that every year. But how can we then tie that into even doing it during the Christmas program? Like she said, the wreath designing and fluffing of them is for older kids. It's just safer, but finding ways, like she said, to be able to bring the little ones into this, to just kind of understand that this is right here in the heart of Fort Smith, which we don't see in a lot of places at all, to have that size, that big of a national cemetery just right here. So it's really exciting to see how we can try to figure out how to bring little ones into this in the future.
All right, so now, Leah, the posters are done. What's the plan now to display all these things?
Oh, well, it's a challenge because we have 21 amazing posters, and we let the kids and their creativity run wild. So we didn't limit them as to what their vision was to tell their story. So they're incredible. They're very impressive. So we're working to put them on very large display that will be on the walls at the workshop on December 2nd at the Convention Center. And then we will also have them displayed at the pavilion. There is a stone wall at the entrance of the pavilion on the event day on Saturday, December 3rd. And we will have them all for display there. So hopefully everybody can come by and read the stories and learn a little bit more about veterans that were laid to rest at our very own Fort Smith National Cemetery.
So is this beyond what you guys expected?
Yes, I was floored personally with the posters. I didn't know what to expect, and I was blown away. Very impressed.
I think to see it go from an idea of just getting a text message from Leah that says, hey, we should team up and do something for Christmas honors, to what it became and the significance of being able to use it in the classroom with the teachers and just getting to have the students the opportunity to really study individuals. It blew our minds how much they were able to gain, how much knowledge they gained from doing that, when it was kind of just a thought of what we can make it look like. So we went back and forth a bunch. But the kids, I mean, they really, like she said, it was out of the park on how great their posters turned out. And when we just kind of let them, there were no rules really. It was like, hey, we just want some historical information and some pictures, and you guys do the rest. And they did. It was awesome.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. What a great idea this is going to be for this year. Hope it gets bigger next year.
Me too. Thank you, Daren.
Thank you.